My name is Kate Adkins and I have the privilege of officiating this very special service today. And on behalf of Natalie and Simon, I would like to welcome you all here. We have the wonderful, talented Chloe May here with us today as our photographer, capturing all the precious moments throughout the ceremony. So you can sit back and relax and just take in this special time. What a beautiful setting for us to celebrate the love, commitment and friendship of two people who wish to spend the rest of their lives together. Let's all take a moment to appreciate where we are and what we're about to witness. It is so important to Natalie and Simon to celebrate their love with you all, and even though circumstances have prevented some of their special loved ones from being here with us today, they are very grateful to be able to marry each other. Natalie and Simon would like to acknowledge their amazing parents, as they have both been lucky enough to have such shining examples of how to love, how to be loved, and how to provide a solid foundation for a family. Angelo, Carmen, Philip and Lynette, Natalie and Simon are very grateful for the gifts you have given them throughout their lives, especially your guidance, support and love. Thank you for all you have done and all you will continue to do. Without you, they would not be who or where they are today. Natalie and Simon would also like to acknowledge and thank their bridal party, Tom, Matt and Nick, and Amy, Laura and Anthea, for many years of friendship and for standing with them as they make their marriage vows today. Whilst today is a symbolic moment, it's important to remember that marriage is so much more than today, more than any one single event or promise. The real act of marriage is lived every day, over and over, in our devotion and the little things we do for one another. This kind of commitment is made only with someone who truly sees you and understands you, who can put your insecurities to sleep, who challenges you and inspires you to be a better version of yourself. So let's go back to where it all began. Nat remembers they met briefly in Byron on a girls' trip, while Simon was on a boys' trip. They were both 19 at the time. Nat became friends with some of Simon's mates at uni. She bumped into them all in a line of cheeky monkeys. Nat's first thought of Simon was, he's that of a very, very serious man. Hence his long-standing nickname, Serious Simon. And her second thought was that he was very handsome. I think we can agree, you're looking pretty handsome today, Simon. Which she happened to mention to his friend Will Bowman. Simon's memory of their first meeting happened about a month later, when they were back in Melbourne and frequenting one of their favourite spots at the time, Seven nightclub. Will, being the great wingman that he is, made a point to formally introduce Simon and Nat that night. Simon's first impression of Nat was that she was a lot of fun and he loved her accent. They shared their first kiss together on the R&B dance floor and the rest is history. They even survived some time apart while Simon finished law school in Melbourne and Nat worked in London for 18 months. After this time, they were drawn back together, stronger than ever. Nat and Simon have shared many special memories together thus far, with their travels and adventures around Europe and America. Simon's amazing navigation skills, which compensate for Nat's non-existent ones, and Nat's organisation skills, which meant things actually got booked, made them the perfect travelling pair. But more than anything, they just really enjoyed each other's company and experiencing new adventures together. Whilst last year had its obvious challenges, it was still very much an exciting year for Nat and Simon. They perfected the art of going to auctions and finally bought their first home together, which they have spent quality time through lockdowns. They are very pleased to confirm after 3 long lockdowns together, they have come out and they are still in love. Nat, Simon simply thinks you are the best person he knows. You are thoughtful and have a kind nature, and are always putting others before yourself. You really care about how others are feeling and how your actions impact them. Simon believes you have a very deep and fundamental empathy for others, and this is one of the many things he admires about you. You not only have a heart of gold, but you are infectious, positive energy that channels everyone you meet. It doesn't matter where you are and what you're doing, whether you're singing and dancing in the kitchen on a Sunday night or taking a high-powered work meeting, you send out your positive energy into the world. Simon believes you make an incredible team, and the older you get and as time passes, the more you complement each other. Nat, you are the big picture person in the relationship, while Simon gets bogged down in all the details. You are a fast mover, while Simon has to take his time. He says your emotional intelligence is off the charts, whilst he admits he needs some work sometimes. Simon thinks, despite your different personality traits, he believes you always have a shared purpose, both being dedicated to building a long, happy life together. Being with you, Nat, makes Simon feel like he is in a genuine partnership. He says, like everyone in your life, you always leave a smile on his face. Okay, Simon, your turn. Nat says you are her perfect counterbalance. She is the classic extrovert and you are the introvert. Together you make the perfect pair. Simon, you are kind, intelligent, patient, hardworking and loving. These are all the things Nat loves about you. Never in the years have you been together has Nat seen you get angry. You are always considered, rational and calm. You have always been Nat's number one supporter, particularly when it comes to work. Always encouraging her to believe in herself, challenging her when she needs it most, and celebrating her achievements. Nat says you take things very seriously, living by the motto, if it's worth doing right. This shows mostly in your approach to work, to cooking, particularly with pasta, selecting wine and making the grinos, but mostly importantly in how you love her. Nat has no doubt in her mind that you will have a long and happy married life together. She hopes that she remains her crazy self, always filling the house with her singing and dancing, encouraging each other to celebrate the smallest things in life and keeping a sense of adventure. She hopes that you continue to make her laugh, cook her the most amazing meals, keep her calm and comfort her when she needs it most. Nat looks forward to your future together, where you both continue to make your house a home, start a family, travel the world, build your careers, but most of all, continue to make fun and beautiful memories with your family and friends. I would now like to invite Simon's sister Julia to come forward and read a passage that has been chosen by Simon's brother Nicholas, who cannot be with us here today.
It's about the fulfillment that you find in having fun. Since his escape on that bright morning, he had hardly given it a thought. So absorbed had he been in his new life, in all its pleasures, its surprises, its fresh and captivating experiences. Now, with a rush of old memories, how clearly it stood before him in the darkness. Shabby indeed, and small and poorly furnished, and yet his. The home he had made for himself, the home he had been so happy to get back to after his day's work. And the home had been happy with him too, evidently, and was missing him, and wanted him back, and was telling him so through his nose, sorrowfully, reproachfully, but with no bitterness or anger, only with a plaintive reminder that it was there and wanted him. He saw clearly how plain and simple, how narrow even it all was, but clearly too how much it all meant to him, and the special value of some such anchorage in one's existence. He did not at all want to abandon the new life and its splendid spaces, to turn his back on the sun and the air and all they offered him and creep home and stay there. The upper world was all too strong. It called to him still, even down there, and he knew he must return to the larger stage. But it was good to think he had this to come back to, this place which was all his own, these things that were so glad to see him again and could always be counted upon for the same simple welcome. Take the adventure, heed the call, now ere the irrevocable moment passes. 'Tis but a banging on the door behind you, a blithesome step forward, and you are out of the old life and into the new. Then someday long hence, jog home, here if you will, when the cup has been drained and the play has been played. Sit down by your quiet river with a store of goodly memories for company.
As mentioned, my sister Tanya, or our sister Tanya, has selected this reading. The significance of this, for those who don't know, is this is the reading that Natalie read at Tanya's wedding several years ago now. If in the morning when you wake, if the sun does not appear, I will be here. If in the dark we lose sight of our love, hold my hand and have no fear, I will be here. I will be here when you feel like being quiet, when you need to speak your mind, I will listen. Through the winning and losing and trying, we'll be together and I will be here. If in the morning when you wake, if the future is unclear, I will be here. As sure as seasons were made for change, our lifetimes were made for years, I will be here. I will be here and you can cry on my shoulder when the mirror tells us we're all. I will hold you to watch you grow in beauty and tell you all the things you are to me. We'll be together and I will be here. I will be true to the promises I've made to you and to the ones who gave it to me. I will be here.
Thank you, Mark, so much for reading that on Tanya's behalf. And I'd now like to share some beautiful words from Tanya as well. Nat and Simon, I love how you complement each other so well. Serious Simon and animated Nat. I love how you bring out the best in each other and always support each other no matter what. I hope your love and admiration for each other continues to grow. This is the most important relationship in your lives. Continue to work on yourselves as individuals, but grow together as a couple. I love you both so much. Natalie, you are the best sister imaginable, and I'm so lucky to have you in my life. Simon, today I officially gained a brother. Not only do I think you're the luckiest man to be with Nat, I think that she's hit the jackpot with you as well. I couldn't be more proud and happier that you two have found each other. I wish you the best that marriage can bring and a lifetime of love and happiness. Love, Tanya. Oh, I got through that one. When she sent it through, I had to read it a few times. Natalie and Simon, before we proceed, I am obligated to remind you that as a registered civil celebrant in Australia, I am authorised by law to solemnise marriages according to law. Before you are joined together in my presence and in the presence of these witnesses, I am to remind you of the solemn and binding nature of the relationship into which you're about to enter. Will you love her, comfort her, honour and protect her, and forsaking all others, be faithful to her so long as you both shall live?
I will.
Natalie. Sorry, I don't know why we're all laughing. Natalie, will you take Simon to be your husband? Will you love him, comfort him, honour and protect him, and forsaking all others, be faithful to him as long as you both shall live?
I call upon the persons here present to witness that I, Simon Douglas Walker, take you, Natalie Sophia Papa George, to be my lawful wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part. promise to care for you, to always be honest, kind, patient, and forgiving. But most of all, I promise to be a true and loyal friend to you for the rest of our lives.
Here present to witness that I, Natalie take you, Simon Douglas Walker, to be my lawful wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part. I promise to care for you, to always be honest, kind, patient and forgiving. But most of all, I promise to be a true and loyal friend to you for the rest of our lives.
Natalie, I give you this ring as a token of my love. With this ring, I marry you and join my life to yours.
Simon, I give you this ring as a token of my love. With this ring, I marry you and join my life to yours.
It is with great joy that I now pronounce you husband and wife.
without inspiration or perspiration. I asked a close friend of mine, what should I do? And he said, well, look, don't be witty, smart or charming. Just be yourself. Okay, that doesn't help much. Anyway, welcome from me, from my wife Carmen, and when you're planning an event such as this, you hope it goes on without a hitch. And in your case, Natalie and Simon, we're all very pleased that the hitch has finally taken place. Natalie and Simon, they say that there are two keys to a good speech: levity and brevity. Well, you'll get neither of them from me tonight. Arthur will be waiting patiently for over 10 years for this event. an hour or so. And if you're wondering why my speech is pages and pages long, it's because I've had to set the font size to 24. That probably wouldn't have been the case if it had not earlier before I needed my Okay, that's no more dad jokes. I'm sorry for you. A daughter is a wonderful gift from God, and you ask God, what did I do to deserve this? And then God shows you that He has a sense of humor and gives you another daughter. I must say that we, although I must confess it was more than mother, stayed up endless nights with Natalie as she refused to sleep at night. And Carmen would sit with her for hours and hours on end, and with that came a lot of crying. And eventually Carmen would say every night, I can stop the crying and look after Tanya, will you? Tanya, as you know, is my eldest daughter. We've said this earlier, but it bears repeating. We're very sad and not to have her with us here tonight, so the wine's interfering with my speech. I know Tanya's heart aches at not being here tonight, but thanks to technology, she's witnessed the ceremony and hopefully much of the festivities this evening. It's also sad to think, Natalie and Simon, that your grandparents couldn't be with us, yes, but I'm sure they are in spirit and damn fine pleased with the choice that both of you have made. One of the loveliest journeys, Natalie, that your mum and I have undertaken was today, when we both walked you down the aisle, knowing that at the end of that short journey would mark the beginning of a wonderful new life with you and Simon. Nat's our beautiful girl and magnificent bride. You've been a perfect daughter, and if Simon just receives a portion of the kindness, generosity, love and joy that you have given us over the years, you'll be a very lucky man indeed. Nat, my darling, you've accomplished so much in your life. You're much loved by so many, the family, friends and colleagues. Your personality and mere presence lights up the room and warms the heart of all who know you. You're truly exceptional, and Mom and I couldn't be more prouder than to have you as our daughter. Natalie, your spirit and your zest for life, which you inherited, by the way, from your mother, is a gift and a blessing, and your childlike enthusiasm endears to all who know you. Natalie, we have loved and lived more deeply because of what you have brought to our lives. We love you very much, my sweetheart. Simon. Talented, good-looking, kind, thoughtful and generous. But that's enough about Natalie. Let's just talk about you. Simon is a pretty special guy. He's a kind and generous person and gives new meaning to a hard-working young professional lawyer. We've known Simon as a young boy and have watched him grow into a very fine young man. He's thoughtful and smart in so many ways. It's just a pity that his moustache hasn't grown as much as his intellect. Simon, we couldn't be more happy in welcoming you formally into our family, and indeed, your family has welcomed Natalie into theirs. To Simon's folks, Lynn and Phil, thank you so much for raising such a fine young man and encouraging him to share his life with our daughter. You've done a wonderful job, and it's an honour to have you, to have our families joined in this way. Thank you. Simon, I've seen you play with Gracie and Sophia, like we all witnessed today. And someday, sooner than later, we hope to see you become a father. And if lucky enough to be blessed with a daughter, hopefully will be just like your mother. Simon, in particular, we want to thank you for making our Natalie so sincerely and wonderfully happy. Together with Simon's folks, we look forward to the days when you two will be blessed with children. A baby, Natalie and Simon, will be just too cute for words. I must mention that Natalie recently had a pesky headache and mistakenly took someone's elephant I don't know if you know, Elevit is the drug that assists. In any event, the headache passed over a few days. She took them instead of Panadol, mistakenly. And while her headache finally cleared, she's now as fertile as a rabbit. We know you'll make a great wife and a mother. After all, you've learned from the very best. Well, it's now time for us to make a toast, and if you could just raise a glass, please. And so may I propose a toast from all of us, wishing Natalie and Simon life and a home, full of love, happiness, health and prosperity. For Mr. and Mrs. Simon and Natalie Walker. Cheers.
The next person I'm going to hand the mic to, who is looking absolutely brilliant, father of the groom, is also, excuse me, mother of the groom, wife of the gorgeous looking Phil as well, if I might add. This is Lynn Walker. Yes.
As the mother of the groom, it's my first groom. I could have potentially have another groom because I've got another son. It is so this is the trial run. And so I did look up the etiquette guide, and the etiquette guide said I was to thank you for coming, which I've sort of done that. And I was to then tell witty anecdotes about my son. So, well, that was like, how long was that going to take? Serious Simon I did actually, ask around whether there were any witty, and they're just really, so I just wasn't even going to go there. So I decided that I would pick a few little anecdotes about Simon's life, and I would let you see whether these are the things about him that have stuck into adulthood, or whether they all just sort of, evaporated away in childhood. So we'll start when Simon was a very little fellow. And Simon, you know how some young kids, toddlers, etc., they're quite promiscuous because they really give their love to lots of soft toys. Not our Simon. Simon had one toy, and that toy was loved to death, and that was Foxy. And Foxy, and you know the story of the Velveteen Rabbit? Where in the Velveteen Rabbit, the fur, the toy is loved so much that the fur comes off, because he's just cuddled to death. Well, that was Simon and Foxy. And so he had two things. He had a fox and a blanket. He's probably still got them. In fact, I know he's still got them. And I think when that baby that I spoke so warmly of comes out, I wouldn't mind betting that baby gets that same soft toy. But that's all that Simon wanted was Foxy. And so you sort of think about, okay, he was called Foxy because Simon wasn't very inventive then. I don't know if he's now. But if you think about all foxes, like Simon's pretty foxy, isn't he? And clearly Simon outfoxed any of the other competitors for Natalie's hand, didn't he? So it was. Now, moving on, so that's my first anecdote, right? Did that go into adulthood? Second one is when, of course, Simon was now, we sort of fast forward into a sort of young primary school, okay? Young Bilbo. Simon had the illustrated guide, the illustrated sort of Hobbit, and that was his favourite book. And one of Simon had two very loved grandmas, and one of them was a wonderful seamstress, and she made Simon his Bilbo cloak. Well, of course, that was all right, but it needs a sword and a shield, doesn't it? And so our next door neighbour at the time, Ross, had a marvellous woodworking studio, and Simon used to spend hours and hours and hours in there, finally honing the shield and the sword, so he could run around the streets in his bilbo cloak and the young bilbo. And Ross was wonderful because Ross also taught him gardening and all sorts of sort of arts and crafts. I'll just move on then. And then we get to the young teenage Simon, who was an early adopter of the grape and the hops and anything else that could be fermented.
Oh, yes.
And there was a number of times he had to be rescued from beef originality. But I'm not sure whether I perhaps need to dwell any further on that. But then now we move into, because I've only got 5 minutes. I mean, I thought I could go all night, but anyway. So now we move into young adulthood, Simon. And I have to say, one of my most heartwarming moments when I think of Simon as a young adult was when his other grandmother, his failing and frail grandmother, was staying with us for a little while. And he used to take her out to the front so she could walk up and down the footpath. And so he would spend that time with her almost every day, just walking her up and down the footpath. And a couple of months later at her funeral, and all the grandchildren spoke, and Simon chose to speak about those few sort of steps that she took. And he said at this funeral what a joy and inspiration it had been to spend that time with Granny, because Granny would say to him, "Come on, Simon, we can do a few more steps today. Let's just get up to the corner, Simon, see if we can get to the corner." And so he spoke about how that was an inspiration to him to sort of strive further and further. And then, if I haven't reduced you to tears yet, my next moment is, just very recently, last weekend, as I've said to some people, we got a chance to go and the kids' childhood home is up for sale at the moment, and so we went to see it with Simon and Julia, and Nicholas, of course, wasn't with us, but I did send him the photos. And Simon was walking from room to room and out in the garden, and the one thing he said to me was, "I wish Nat was here, I'd love to share all this with her." And that, to me, spoke about how he wanted his past and his future to mesh, and how important family and friends and life and experiences are. And as a mum, I couldn't have been prouder that he valued his childhood and wanted his wife to share in some of that. So I was quite chuffed. I thought I hadn't done such a bad job. So I just wondered whether you saw which of the things about Simon's those little anecdotes managed to stick. Now clearly, Foxy, the love he honed on one soft toy is going to be for Natalie, because he is a boy that is steadfast and loyal. The care he lavished on his granny and his joy and love and kindness, which has been spoken of a lot tonight. And the fact that he strives for things. And the fact that he wanted to share his life with Natalie. So I don't know that the woodwork and the gardening managed to make it through to the part, but he knows more than he thinks he knows about how to swing a hammer and how to sort of, use a hoe when the chips are down. He can probably out-hoe most of the people here, really. So, we just couldn't be more thrilled. We adore Natalie, we just have loved her. I've always promised to Natalie that she could have her wedding at our house, whether or not Simon was the groom. Because, I just was so delighted, so we just loved him to pieces. We couldn't be happier. And so I just so look forward to the future with the two of you, in that you are my beautiful tomorrows, and just all the very best. And I'm just not going to do bittersweet, but my other beautiful boy who I adore too is not here, and that is a pain in my heart in the same way as for Ike and Carmen. And you know, Nicholas and Simon were completely inseparable. They slept together, they did everything together for years, probably beyond, you know. And so, you know, it's a wonderful occasion, and so wish the others could be here. They can't, and we just have to have the party all over again when all those absent people will be able to be here. So here's to you two, my darlings. Couldn't be prouder, couldn't be more thrilled.
Brian, thanks very much. You've done a great job tonight, mate. Got you South African accent, but obviously it's been really good to have you on the USMC tonight. So thanks, mate. So we've had some really beautiful speeches here tonight, and I don't think that and I are intending to take quite so long or hold a candle to any of those, but we will say a few short words of thanks.
Simon, loud.
Okay. So we're going to say a few short words of thanks. And before I hand over to Nat to kick us off, I did just want to say thank you to everyone here for coming, all the guests. It's obviously been a pretty tricky year the last year, and not a lot of reasons to celebrate. So, you know, rain notwithstanding, we're just completely stoked that everyone could come and we could be here, you know, our closest family and friends, we could, you know, have a beautiful wedding. So thanks very much, you know, everyone for coming in and making it a special night. We also just wanted to say a special thank you to the people who have come from interstate. You know, at the moment, that's actually quite a risky thing. You're chancing closed borders and outbreaks and hotspots and all sorts of things. So to Chris and Gabby and Annabelle, thanks very much for coming down from Sydney. We really appreciate it. And also to Anna and Jimmy for coming from Byron. So now across to my beautiful bride.
It's really loud in here.
No.
Hi everyone. I also just echo what Simon said. Thank you so much to all of you for being here. You are literally our favourite people, and I'm so just grateful, and I've had today the most amazing day. I also want to thank Mark Zito. He was the beautiful musician that played the wonderful music at the I know it's been said a few times before that obviously there are some family and friends that can't be here with us today, and I won't list them all, but just wanted to emphasise that we wish they were here, so let's have a drink for them tonight and send them lots of love. I want to take a moment and acknowledge my beautiful bridesmaids, Andy and Laura. These three girls have been absolutely amazing and have genuinely made the lead up and today so special for me. We all know they know how to throw a very good party. The hens will go down as one of the all-time greatest. I still have the bruises to prove it. But beyond that, they have been my best friends for 16 years. And what a time we have had together. We have travelled the world, we have visited many countries, many dance floors, had many laughs and cries along the way. So thank you so much for your beautiful friendship. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. Thank you for standing by my side tonight. Lynn, Phil, Nicholas and Julia, you all welcomed me into your home with such love from day one. Thank you for always making me feel a part of your family. I remember the first night I met Lynn.
over 10 years ago. It was before I was going out for dinner, and I quickly learned after that I got the tick of approval because, unbeknownst to me, I worked out that I met Lynn's brief that she had given each of her children, which was height and good hair. Very happy. We recently moved in with Ben and Phil during COVID, and I will treasure those times that we have together, all those special dinners, excellent wine, and fantastic company, so thank you so much for that. Lynn, there are so many of your beautiful qualities that I see and love in Simon. Thank you for raising such a strong, independent, beautiful boy that I love. I feel very lucky to be joining your beautiful family, and now I have another sister, Julia, and another brother, Nicholas, and I'm so grateful for that. To my precious family, thank you for all your love and support, not only in the lead up today, but throughout my whole life. To my mum and dad, how lucky am I to have such a wonderful example of true love. You taught me that the secret to a long, healthy, happy marriage is kindness and compassion, and that is exactly how you've treated each other your whole lives. Our house growing up was always filled with love and laughter, and for that I'm so grateful to the two of you. You have made so many sacrifices and decisions in your life for the betterment of your children, and thank you so much for that. We appreciate everything you do, and I love you so much. And now, finally, to my darling husband. After 12 wonderful, happy years together, we have finally tied the knot. Simon, I just love you so much. You are so calm, supportive, encouraging, and loving. You have an enormous intellect and an even bigger heart. I'm so excited about what our future holds together. Thank you for loving me, my serious Simon, my best friend, my partner for life.
Very tough to follow that.
Don't even try.
So I'd like to start off by thanking my groomsmen as well, Fogs, Hallie, and Kruder. I'm a really lucky guy to have had, 3 really good mates for a number of years now, and it was just great to have you there today, standing by my side at the altar. In particular, Tom, thank you for your very kind words tonight. It's actually one of your best speeches. I've only done a few. That was probably the best. Thank you as well, Priya, for signing the marriage certificate with us today. That was really special. It's a very aggressive signature, so I'm sure we can done that one in the future. And Hallie as well, thanks for carrying the rings that we actually almost forgot halfway. And Phil, thank you, Phil, for remembering the rings. We've had a lot of good times together at Trinity, at school, in our early 20s, travelling around the country to places like Byron and up the coast, and then also going overseas. UK, South America, Thailand, the memories really, the memories that I'm going to really treasure forever. And, I think we're now at the point in our lives where we're moving into a new stage and we're going to make some new memories. And so, Nick and BK, in that vein, congratulations on your recent engagement. I'm sure that's not too far away from you guys as well. So now to Matt's family and Ike and Carmen. It seems like a very, very long time ago that I sat down at your table for the very first time for one of Carmen's delicious meals, a 5 feet of pork. I think we might have had keftedes or some Greek food that I didn't know what it was at the time. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think I had a pretty shocking haircut and, jeans that were too tight, were very cool at the time, and terrible small talk at the dinner table. But despite that, since the first time I met you, I've never felt anything but completely welcome into your life and into your family. And, it's been said before, and it's a product of your marriage and your household and your family, and for that you're going to have my endless gratitude for forever. One memory I did just want to mention as well was the week we had a few years ago after Chris and Gabby's wedding when we went to Hawaii. Initially, and so I said, look, that week we planned in Hawaii? I was like, like just the two of us, I'm going to go to a nice resort, it's going to be fantastic, just hanging out. So my parents wasn't coming. Okay, thanks, bye. But to be honest, it was one of the best holidays I've ever had. We had so much fun, and so, thanks very much for making that a beautiful memory for us as well. Of course, as well to Mark and Gemma and to Tanya and Greg and the kids who can't be here tonight. It's just so fantastic to be joining such a beautiful extended family and everyone back in South Africa as well. I'm very, very lucky, from tonight I can call myself officially part of the Papa George clan. So now to my parents, Mum and Phil. What can I say? The two of you have raised me to become the person that I am, and I'm always going to be eternally grateful for the guidance and love that you've given me over the last 32 years. It's no secret that we haven't had the most traditional family. There's sort of stepsisters and half-sisters and all sorts of different parents and setups, and despite all of that, I feel like I've had two most amazing role models to not only personally model myself after, but also, it showed me what a loving relationship looks like and what a loving lifelong partnership looks like. And to be honest, that's probably the best gift that someone could ask for, and that's going to be that's going to be my marriage as well. So thank you very much. And of course, Julia and Michael and Nick and Matt, who obviously those two can't be here today. I'm the luckiest brother alive to have two such amazing siblings who've got two such amazing partners as well. Thank you so much for your words at the wedding stage. They were beautiful, and thank you as well, Nick, for picking them. I have to say I couldn't really remember much from that book, but when Nick chose the reading, I went back and I had a look, and it's an amazing standard. So I'm so glad he chose that. And last, certainly not least, to my beautiful bride, Nat. Disclosing the fact that I only wrote this speech yesterday, I'm going to share a little story. Earlier in the week, Nat and I were kind of doing some last wedding admin, and Nat sort of mentioned to me offhand, I really like that tradition where, the couple give each other presents on the wedding day. It's like a surprise.
Well done, Nat.
Me too. I love that tradition. It's so great. Can't wait. So I took myself off to Maya the next day to go buy Nat a wedding day present.
Good boy.
And anyway, so the present was great. And then I went to the card section to buy a card. And I was looking through all the cards, and there was this card there that had from Friends, Joey, Chandler, and Monica on it. And it's, for those people who know Friends, it's actually the scene where Joey marries his best mates Monica and Chandler. And it had like the quote from the scene, which is, this long quote, it's perfect for Nat. Like, she loves Friends, it's the perfect card, fantastic. So I grabbed the card, I took it to the checkout, and then I was about to pay for it, and there was another stand of cards there. And there was this other card that I saw, and it actually stopped me in my tracks. it's a weird thing to say about a card, but it was this like very basic card. It just was an outline of two hands, and one of them had a ring on it, and it said "Teammates for Life." And I thought, you know, that's it. That is my teammate for life. And yeah, this is the perfect card, so I chose that. You know, the celebrant kind of made the speech today, we wrote for her, but I just thought there's really, you know, we are a team. You support me when, you know, I'm not at my best. We work together towards building a home and a life. You know, you're sort of like the yin to my yang, if I can put it that way. We're very complementary. We have our different roles to play, and together, you know, we always get it done. And you know, I thought that's the perfect sentiment that I want to share with you, you know, leave you with today, is that yeah, you are my teammate for life now. So I think that's been the formal proceedings tonight. Lish, you didn't have anything else, did you, mate? No? Alright, so are we doing the first dance now? I think we are.
It's for the way you look at me. It's for the only one I see. It's very, very extraordinary. It's even more than anyone that you adore and love is all that I can give. Love is more than just a game for two. Love and me, take my heart, please don't break it. Love is made for me and beautiful.